Welcome to the eighth gate of Kamazaka Zen. This is the first gate in the eighth gate, known as Samu. The Dharma talk today is on the nature of sacred activity and also the essence of mindfulness. In the tradition of Zen, each gate or each stage of practice, it serves as like a portal to greater understanding, guiding the practitioner towards awakening and also inner freedom. And the eighth gate of Kammasaka Zen, Samu, signifies mindful effort or sacred activity, and invites the practitioner into a space where action and mindfulness become unified. And through Samu, daily work, our daily work is transformed into a sacred activity, a ritual imbued with the essence of mindfulness, therefore fostering a harmony of body, mind, and spirit. And it's this nature of sacred activity is at the core of mindfulness and integrates into the elements. And through Samu, it can cultivate a Zen approach to life, infusing every action with purpose, with presence, and even with deep appreciation of the interconnectedness of all things. In many spiritual traditions, sacred activity is traditionally reserved for specific rituals or religious ceremonies. However, in Zen practice, the concept of sacred activity extends beyond the conventional boundaries. And it starts to encompass everyday action that simply arises from a state of deep awareness and intention. So, sacred activity, as embodied in the eighth gate of Kammasaka, it involves a transformative approach to everyday tasks, suggesting that the most ordinary of actions, sweeping the floor, chopping the vegetables, arranging the garden, it can be considered sacred when approached with mindful attention. Because in Zen, there is no division between the sacred and the mundane. And the ordinary becomes extraordinary through the depth of one's engagement and the presence. So this approach is deemed to be sacred, a sacred activity. And it's based in the teaching that the sacred resides within all things. And that true spiritual practice, it lies in perceiving the world and our activities as holy, regardless of how routine they may appear. Samu, therefore, is not about finding holiness in a church or a temple or a holy site, but rather in the rhythm of daily life itself. Zen literature abounds with stories and teachings about monks who attained enlightenment, not through grand rituals, but through sweeping courtyards or preparing meals. And it's these stories that illustrate the Zen view that sacred activity is less about the activity itself, and it's more about the attitude and awareness that is brought to it. So, in this way, the eighth gate invites practitioners to abandon the dualistic notion of simply separating spiritual practice from daily life. And that it's through this samu, that every action becomes a ritual, an opportunity to return to one's true nature and to connect deeply with the present moment and to find transcendence simply in the here and now. So mindfulness, known as sati in Pali, refers to the quality of attention that allows one to observe thoughts, emotions, and sensations, and to do so with clarity and non-attachment. In Zen, mindfulness, it's like a bridge to direct experience. It's a way to touch reality without interference from the conceptual mind. And in the context of samu, mindfulness transforms labour simply into a path of awakening, illuminating the essence of each task and freeing the practitioner from habitual mental patterns. These patterns that often obscure the true understanding. So at its core, mindfulness is about embodying awareness. So embody this awareness so completely that even the smallest task becomes an opportunity for insight. And then through mindfulness, one becomes attuned to the present moment, and in doing so, cultivates qualities of patience, compassion, and acceptance. These particular qualities, they are essential in samu. As mindful effort is not merely about completing a task or completing that task efficiently, but it's about engaging with the task wholeheartedly, without an attachment to the outcome or aversion to the process. Mindfulness is also fundamental to non-judgment. And in samu, when the mind ceases to evaluate actions as pleasant or unpleasant, desirable or undesirable, then there arises a quiet acceptance, an unconditioned openness simply to the experience at hand. This particular openness, it allows for deep relaxation into the flow of activity, where the practitioner is not only mindful of what they are doing, but also deeply connected to the unfolding present moment. This type of presence is essential or the essence of mindfulness and is a key to understanding the nature of the sacred activity within the samu. So the practice of samu is not about mindlessly performing chores or completing tasks and completing these tasks as quickly as possible. Instead, it's about bringing mindful attention to each moment, to each breath, to each sensation. And when a Zen practitioner is fully engaged in samu, they are not separate from the action. They simply become one with the activity itself. And then this merging of subject and object, doer and deed, is an essential aspect of Zen philosophy. And it reflects the teachings of non-duality. So in samu, integration of sacred activity and mindfulness means that every action is performed with complete attention and reverence. For instance, when washing dishes, one becomes fully aware of the texture of the plates, of the temperature of the water, the sensation of the hands moving, the sound of the plate being cleaned. The practitioner is not washing dishes to simply get them done, but they are simply washing the dishes. In this way, samu is an invitation to engage deeply with the present moment, realizing that the activity itself is enough, with no need for additional meaning or purpose. And this approach, it challenges the contemporary goal-orientated mindset that values productivity and efficiency above all else. And in a society that is driven by outcomes, then samu offers a radical shift. It invites the practitioner to be fully present in the process, to embrace each moment simply as it is, and to find meaning in the journey rather than in the destination. Because when one fully embraces this view, even the simplest tasks are transformed into acts of devotion, imbued with a sense of purpose and dignity. And then through samu, one begins to experience that sacred activity and mindfulness are not merely practices, but they can become a way of being that tends to cultivate wisdom and compassion. And when the practitioner is fully present, each action naturally expresses the interconnectedness of all things, revealing that there is no separation between oneself and the world. And this insight leads to a profound appreciation for all life, as each task becomes a celebration of existence and an expression of one's intrinsic Buddha nature. So this shift in perception, or this in perception, it allows practitioners to see beyond the illusion of separateness, recognizing that each action, it contributes to the welfare of all beings. For existence, simply sweeping the floor becomes not only a way to clean the monastery, but also a means to create a space of clarity and peace for others. So the sacred nature of activity lies in the intention and the awareness that is brought to it, as well as the understanding that even the smallest act has the potential to benefit others. And this approach is particularly relevant at Kamasaka Zen, where Samu is practiced as a collective endeavour, strengthening the bonds of our community and fostering a sense of shared purpose. And that it's in this particular communal setting that each person's effort is seen as vital to the whole. And every task, no matter how humble, it is honoured. It is honoured as a contribution to the collective well-being. This understanding encourages practitioners to view their actions not as isolated efforts, but as a part of a larger tapestry of sacred activity, which is interwoven with the lives and aspirations of others. But, however, in Zen, there is often a paradoxical relationship between effort and non-effort. While Samu is described as mindful effort, it does not entail striving or forcing. Instead, it's about allowing actions to arise naturally from a place of stillness and acceptance. And in Samu, one learns to work without attachment or engage fully without clinging to outcomes, and to make effort without generating ego-based striving. And this approach aligns with the Zen teaching of Wu Wei, or effortless action. By practicing Samu, the practitioner cultivates a relaxed, open state where effort becomes effortless and work becomes a natural expression of one's true self. So in this state, actions are performed with ease and grace, free from the burden of self-consciousness. This quality of non-effort is essential to Samu, as it allows the practitioner to move beyond personal desires and attachments, for them to enter a state of flow, where the boundary between self and activity begin to dissolve. So the paradox of effort and non-effort also reflects the Zen understanding of enlightenment, which is not something to be attained through strenuous striving, but rather something to be realized by letting go. And then in Samu, each task is a reminder that awakening is not a distant goal, but it is simply an ever-present reality. And it is accessible through the simplicity of the mindful activity. So Samu, we use it as a path to wholehearted living. And the eighth gate of Kammasaka Zen, Samu, it embodies the Zen approach to life. It transforms the mundane into the sacred, and it encourages practitioners to live wholeheartedly in each moment. And through Samu, the nature of sacred activity is revealed not in grand gestures or elaborate rituals, but in simple, mindful actions of everyday life. And by embracing the essence of mindfulness, one learns to find beauty and meaning in the present moment and to see beyond the self and to participate fully in the simple unfolding of life. So Samu is not simply a method of working. It is a way of relating to the world with gratitude, with reverence, and with awareness. And then in this sense, Samu is a profound teacher. It's a profound teacher offering lessons in humility, patience, and compassion. And it reminds us that each moment is a precious opportunity to simply engage deeply with life and to recognize the interconnectedness of all beings and to allow us to awaken to the truth of our shared existence. And through this practice of mindful effort, one learns that every action, no matter how small, can be an expression of sacredness and a path to awakening. And in the context of Kammasaka Zen, the practice of Samu invites the practitioners to step beyond the limitations of ego and enter a space where life itself is the practice, where every action is an opportunity for insight, and where the sacred and the ordinary are one. They're one and the same. So the eighth gate, it stands as a testament to the transformative power of mindful effort, guiding practitioners towards a life of peace, of a life of purpose, and a life of profound awareness. Thank you for watching the first Dharma talk in the eighth gate.